2021, a Fontana police officer was working patrol when he observed several subjects at a local business getting into a vehicle and leaving quickly. As the officer followed the vehicle, the driver immediately began driving erratically. The officer attempted to effect a traffic stop for vehicle code violations as the vehicle drove away in the wrong direction toward oncoming traffic. The vehicle stopped on the south side of 9th Street and Oak Street in the city of Bloomington. Immediately after stopping, a passenger fled from the vehicle as the officer approached. The driver then fled from the traffic stop with a female passenger in the back seat. A vehicle pursuit was initiated at that time.
43 pursuit, northbound Oak from number 11.
The pursued vehicle traveled through residential streets before returning to the major thoroughfare. The vehicle fled at high rates of speed, running stop signs, red lights, and at times traveling on the wrong side of the road into oncoming traffic.
We're at about 80, okay, slowing down, and okay, he's trying to go to the wrong side of the road. Still northbound, coming up slower.
The officer eventually pursued the vehicle west on the 10 freeway. At times, the suspect would briefly exit the freeway in an attempt to evade officers. The pursuit reached the City of Ontario via the 10 freeway. After some time, the Ontario Police Department helicopter arrived overhead and was able to capture some of the reckless driving by the suspect. As can be seen on the video, the driver demonstrated a blatant lack of regard for the safety of other motorists.
In the number 2 lane, he's weaving in and out of traffic, continuing westbound on the 10. He's all the way over to the right shoulder in a construction zone, continuing westbound. He's in the far right lane in a construction zone, and it's blocked by a barrier. And he's continuing westbound, coming up to Haven.
The suspect left the freeway and traveled through a construction zone on a dirt shoulder before making it back to the Milliken Avenue exit. Once additional officers caught up to the pursuit, they received authorization for a pursuit intervention technique known as the pit maneuver in hopes of bringing the pursuit to an end. As the suspect maneuvered back eastbound on the 10 freeway, the driver's actions grew more aggressive in attempts to evade officers. The suspect reached congested traffic and began to exit the freeway at Milliken.
Still red at Milliken. And he's going up the divider, up the rock divider, and they just pitted him on the 10 eastbound on-ramp at Milliken.
Pitted eastbound on-ramp.
Trying to get away from officers, he just knocked over a stoplight, and they just pit him again, and they're blocking him in.
After driving over the cement shoulder into oncoming vehicles, the suspect immediately made a hard left turn. The pursuing officers believed the suspect was making a U-turn to re-enter the freeway against the flow of traffic. The initial officer rammed the fleeing vehicle near the rear tire in order to stop the vehicle and prevent a head-on collision. The vehicle spun around and faced pursuing officers as the vehicle continued rolling. The suspect put the vehicle in reverse and drove backward towards oncoming traffic. A second assisting officer saw the suspect vehicle was backing towards the freeway and in the path of oncoming vehicles. The second officer rammed the suspect vehicle, causing the vehicle to spin away from oncoming traffic. The suspect vehicle attempted to back away from the officers as they approached on foot. However, the suspect vehicle collided with barriers. Despite numerous commands made by the officers for the subject to stop the vehicle, he continued to rev the engine and spun the tires, lunging the vehicle toward officers.
Air 20, and he's still trying to get away from the officers inside the vehicle. He's revving his motor and he's spinning his tires that are on the on-ramp, uncooperative.
That is when the shooting occurred. A third officer that arrived on scene heard the engine revving and tires squealing and believed the initial officer was going to be run over by the suspect. The officer fired multiple rounds which struck the suspect in the torso. The second officer's body camera captures the moments leading up to the shooting with the engine revving and the vehicle surging forward. The suspect immediately told officers. Officers removed the female passenger and detained her as she was uninjured. As officers entered the suspect vehicle on the passenger side to remove the suspect, a firearm could be seen on the passenger floorboard along with narcotics paraphernalia. The suspect was removed from the vehicle and life-saving procedures were administered immediately by officers on scene, including 2 fully trained and equipped paramedic Fontana police officers. Despite advanced life-saving measures, the suspect succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased at a local hospital. The suspect was later identified as 22-year-old Larry Mendez of Los Angeles. The 22-year-old female passenger was later released from the Ontario Police Department.